What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kari.𝐥𝐤 here, back again with another video. Hola, mi gente. It's a little Spanish for you guys. You're going to be needing it after this video, as I suspect that many of you will be interested in moving to Latin America after you watch this one. So let's get into it, guys. Today, I am discussing why Latin women are at the core of this great migration south for many North American men who are now moving in large numbers to countries all over Latin America, such as Brazil, Colombia, and Dominican Republic. That's just to name a few. We can't forget about Costa Rica. We can't forget about Peru. We can't forget about Belize. Anyway, let's start talking about this because I think you guys will have a lot to say about what I'm about to say. It's not a fluke that when these men arrive, oftentimes they fall in love. At least the dummies that don't get robbed and killed or drugged and things like that, which there are a lot of those. And that's probably more of a Medellin problem than anything. I believe this is because men are oftentimes greeted by some of the most generous, gentile, inspirational, feminine, and beautiful women to ever walk this earth. Which leads me to where I want to focus this talk today. Are Latin women better in bed than North American women? How dare you say that, Kari? What's wrong with you, boy? Let's get into it, man. To all my modern black women, remember that Latin does not mean non-black. There are many more Afro-Latinas down here than in North America. Remind you, if 4 or 5% of the slaves went to the United States of America, 40% of the slaves went to Brazil. 4 to 40, that's 10 times more slaves went to Brazil. So if you end up in Brazil, you'll see black people are everywhere, much more than in America. So it kind of feels like Atlanta in certain places of Brazil. So let's just get that straight. I'm not here to bash, my modern black women, even though I'm not a big fan of a lot of their kind of philosophies. But yeah, I just, the black women are down here too, basically. Y'all might look into my history and see that a lot of the girls that I dated were white, but I've dated black women too. So, and if you go back and look at my interview with my homegirl, Palmas, which went viral, titled Medellin, a Dating Jungle, there you can see a very well-spoken Afro-Colombian woman. Okay, so do your research and don't come at me crazy. All right, I'm not the one. All right, so let's get into a few of the highlights of why I believe Latin women, when it comes to the bed and that type of thing, I think they got it on lock. All right, passion. Latin women have a level of passion that is unmatched. I've never seen it before with any other type of woman. Latin women, they're just so passionate, man. It's like, even when they fight, it's passionate. But I'll tell you, like, you would think, like, they have this weird stigma that, like, Latin women are super feisty. I fought less with Latin women, way less than what I fought with my black American girlfriends. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like a positive passion. You know what I mean? So, let's just say this. Their body movement, if we're saying the PG way, but really they could ride better. And they know how to move their body in bed. It's a crazy thing. But they just have more just movement. Maybe it's the salsa and the reggaeton. And they just know how to, like, move what they got, man. And, yeah, like, black girls, they know how to ride. And they just you know what I mean? Like, it's cool. But, like, Latin women, you're not beating that, bro. You're just not going to beat that. I'm sorry. I got love for all my black girls still. But, nah. Latin and Afro-Latina, man, they just got a whole different level of body movement that can't be matched. And when I came to Medellin and I hooked up with girls, I just noticed it. Like, they're just better in bed to me because for whatever reason, they're just better at the movements. They talk and say crazy things. And that really depends on each girl. But like, when it's in Spanish, it's just sexier. You know what I mean? So, like, the way they dress, the way they do their makeup, the way they talk, it just has much more of a feminine undertone than what you get with a lot of North American women. All right. They love to do it in bed with music on. I'll say that. Like, you could throw on some reggaeton or even salsa or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a vibe with Latin women. And I just said it before, but they will talk more. They'll say crazy things. Like, I'm not going to sit here and impersonate a Latin woman, but I'll say it in the man's voice, and you can imagine it was a woman's voice, but they'll say, like, ay, papi, or que rico. These things, like, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's a turn on. So, that's a few of the things why I say, like, Latin women are better in bed. Also, like, their after sex routine usually is a lot better. Like, I don't want to hag on my North American women, but, like, I've seen a lot of women that just kind of put their pants back on and go home or go about their business or whatever, and that's nasty. Like, most of the Latin American women I've been with, like, they go take a shower before and after. You know what I mean? So their hygiene is way better, and like I said, many of them will shower before and after. Their after sex routine as well is a lot better to me. Like, they will tend to take care of you, ask you what you want, if you want food. They're not so heartless with it, And I'm not talking about the pros and definitely not the prostitutes, because all they're going to be asking for is some money after that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about a real girl that's really interested in you. This is what you get in Latin America. So moving on to another important point. I feel like Latin women are always down to get with it, to get busy, you know what I'm saying, to hop up in the bed. Yeah, Latin women rarely don't allow you to hit that if you're dating them, you know what I'm saying, if you're, in a relationship with them or y'all have some type of agreement or relationship. Like, I've never had a Latin woman really refuse to give me top, as I've experienced in the States, where I mean head, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had this girl that wasn't even fine like that, bro. I remember in the States, like, she told me, like, I don't give head and this, and I'm like, what? What's it? What? You don't what? Like, nah, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here then. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got it like that. Anyway, nah, Latin women, bro, they drop down on their knees and take care of business. You know what I'm saying? This is a vulgar conversation. But I'm just keeping it real. Like, I've never had no Latin woman be like, nah, I don't give head. Like, what? Like, nah, they aren't on that. Like, they're just not on that, bro. Like, I don't know what it is about these modern women that think, that's too submissive, or like, I don't know what it is, or, a nigga don't deserve that, or, you know what I mean? Like, or that's special occasions only. Like, man, we ain't rocking with that, bro. We ain't rocking with that, man. I got other things going on, man. And I ain't got time for that. That's one of the things I ain't got time for. 99 problems, but getting head ain't one, at least out here in Latin America. You feel me? Another thing that's sexy about Latin women too is, like, they don't put their man down. Like, they'll stand by you through a difficult situation, and they'll even sacrifice, like, I had Latin women, just be like, you ain't got it, or I'll put up the money, or, you know what I'm saying, don't worry about it, I don't need nothing too fancy, like, I know you're saving for this or that, like, typically American women don't give a damn, like, what they want is what they want, and if you can't provide it, then you gotta sacrifice and stuff like that. That's not all of them, of course not. If you find, like, you can still find a great North American woman. So just be aware that what I'm saying is not, a blanket statement about every North American woman, but I'm talking about in general. You know what I'm saying? I've dated a lot of women in North America before I moved to Colombia, and I've seen a lot of what I'm talking about in various different ones. So I don't think it's a small portion of the population that, this, what I'm talking about, is in relation to. I think it's the majority. So anyway, let's keep moving on. Before I get attacked by all the modern women from the United States, man, they gonna be on my ass. Anyway, yeah, like, the Latin women are really good and strong when it comes to standing by their man and working things out, especially when it comes to having a family. they're much more likely to put the family first, which to me is the most important thing. Like, I've seen too many women especially in marriages in the United States, they get to a point where they're not happy, and so they'll go break down the whole family just because they not happy, instead of like sacrificing and working things out so that the family can, meet its goal at the end of the day. But as I talk about negatives about the North American women, I gotta talk about, the Latin women, and they're not all perfect, man. Let's talk about the vultures for a minute. There's a lot of vultures in Latin America. Some just want a free ride. Some have the same feminist mindset as many of the North American women. You know what I mean? Especially some of the beautiful women. They feel so entitled sometimes in Latin America. Some have no idea how to satisfy a real man, usually because they have a lower class upbringing. They never had a dad around. Some of the same things you see in North America, but they're just ghetto minded, basically. Like my uncle, he would say urban. They're just urban. That's like a nice way of saying ghetto. But yeah, we'll just say urban. Some of them are just so urban, they just don't get it. If you're talking to them about investments, or you're talking about them about a long-term strategy or something like that, they're just going to fly over their head because they're so damn urban. All right. Hope y'all get my drift there. I could think of many more girlfriends in the United States that would try to ration the pussy than in Colombia, straight up. I remember one girl in particular that I dated was very unpredictable when it came to sex. And I could not assume or depend on her to give it up to me, man. It was like some days yes, some days no, but a lot of no's, you know what I mean? Like when you start getting hella no's, it's like you just start to be like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna look at some other options. Even though I love you and all that, but like, and this was me, young me, like fresh out of college, like, and in college, like I was dating this girl, and like, yeah, like, I don't know, she was just disrespectful, like, but I was so young, like, I wasn't, that relationship taught me so much, like, of, like, what I didn't want, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, we was really good friends and stuff, but, like, I don't know, we was, like, too close to like, being equals and, like, homies and stuff, and, like, she wasn't, like, in the right position that I feel a woman should be in, like, to be my girl, at least, so, didn't work out in the long run, but I learned a lot, and one of the things was, you don't want to be with a girl that sits on the pussy or rations the pussy. Like, that shit is not fun at all. Especially if you're doing your part. I should say that. If you a bum ass nigga, then obviously not. But, that's never been Kari.HQ. So eventually this made me resent my girl, as I felt disrespected, that I wasn't getting the sexual attention that I needed. And that she just didn't care about my satisfaction and happiness, like, straight up. That's what it feels like after a certain point. And I just figured out that, yeah, she was using the pussy, to her advantage, to manipulate situations to her benefit, more or less. You know what I mean? Don't act like y'all women don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You think we don't know that? Nah. Some dudes are super stupid and simple. So I get it. Like, y'all get away with this shit with a lot of dudes. But I don't know. I'm talking to a very special subset of dudes. Like, I'm talking to the guys that have control of themselves, know their worth, more or less. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes, they just don't know what they're worth. They don't know what they could be having, and they settle. And I'm talking to my guys that refuse to settle. Like, straight up, that's the core group of dudes that I'm talking to here. And to that point, like I said, pretty much every girl I ever dated in Colombia gave up the pussy. Like, every girl that I was already dating, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, there's always that chase, to get to that point. But once you bust it open once, you usually good in Colombia. Like, once you make that girl your thing, she never gonna be like not down. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they be wanting to smash more. Like, there's one girl I did in Colombia, like, she would just be like, yo, let's go to the parking garage and do it in my car and stuff. It was just crazy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to love that. So as I was talking about the vultures, this one particular story comes to mind with this girl I was dating here in Colombia. And yeah, let's just get into it. So I would go out with this one girl. We probably went out 3 or 4 times, and, she would always have a great vibe as we started the night, kind of even acting like my girlfriend and all that, touching on me, kissing and all that. But, as the night went on, she would always just start looking for a way where she could excuse herself, and she would have all these different excuses. Oh, I gotta go to work, or oh, I gotta go to school, or oh, this or that, you know what I mean? And so I understand that people got stuff to do, you know what I mean? Like, but 3-4 times and you always gotta go back to the crib, like, you make time for what's important to you. That's always been something that I believed in, like, I seen the prettiest girls that just were into me. They make time, you know what I mean? I seen girls that weren't even all that weren't that into me. They didn't make the time because it wasn't that important to them. So you make time for what's important to you, and that's a fact. And so I just basically realized that this girl, was being played by this girl after, my 3 or 4 attempts and her never paying for anything. We weren't doing anything too fancy. I think we went bowling, and then one time we went out to a salsa club, and then one time we did dinner. I met her the last time for a drink just because I wanted to see what's up, like get direct. You know what I mean? And when she told me she had to go home after, because I was asking her, like, what you about to do? And she had another excuse. It was like not even that late. You know what I mean? That's why I purposely did that. Like, look, we're not doing nothing here. Like, you want to just go back to the crib? You know what I mean? Type of setup. And yeah, I just straight up got up and left. Like, when she said she couldn't come back to the crib, like, I wasn't having it. Like, I already knew. I had said that before I left. Like, if she on this type of time again, I'm just out. So I left her there. You know what I mean? I just got up and left. Like, I'm out, man. Fuck this. You think I'm stupid? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Go do that shit to the next dude. It's not going down with Kari that HQ. You know what I'm saying? You wasting your time, you wasting my time. Let's just not see each other ever again type shit. So that's what happened with her. And shit, it is what it is. Yeah, I wasn't interested in being nice or playing that game anymore. You know what I mean? You only get so many tries with Kari that HQ. You feel me? Before you strike out. You know what I mean? This is not the home run derby, man. This is just a at bat. You feel me? You don't get 100 balls thrown at you. You get 3. You know what I'm saying? You striking out, man. That's it. While I'll never get my time and money back, I'm happy, I was happy to have made that decision to never feed into her bullshit again. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So all that to say, like, Latin women are not perfect, but when it comes to in bed, like, my experiences have been amazing, like much better than with North American women, and not bad with North American women. Like, I've had great experiences with them too. I'm not saying they don't know what they doing, but it's just like Latin women are just that much better. And like, they do the intangibles. Like, when you applying for a job and they say, like, we need someone that has the intangibles, like a hard worker, dedicated, shows up early, leaves late. Like, that's like the Latin women. Like sex is sex. Like, between the lines, as you say in football, like, what happens between the lines is that's like the game. But like, what happens off the field? Like, what type of player are you? You know what I'm saying? We could tell through the press conference and what you say about us in public, or how much work you're willing to put into things. Like, that's where Latin women really excel. Where I feel like many North American women are more interested in themselves and their own best interests, and they're not really team players like that sometimes. So putting all that together, when you look at the big picture, it doesn't surprise me that there's been a great migration from North America to Latin America or South America, because usually you can also find much more affordable life, cost of living in these countries, and also much better weather in a lot of places, and lots of beaches and stuff like that we don't have in North America. Like the crystal clear beaches are very limited in North America, and when you look at the Caribbean, that's part of Latin America, in my opinion, as well as Central America and South America. So you got tons of beaches and coastline between all of those territories. And that doesn't mean there's no issues in Latin America. In fact, there's many issues, but it depends on your preferences and what you are willing to put up with, what are you willing to sacrifice, and what's important to you, and that will determine if making that move is vale la pena, as we say, which means, is it worth the pain? And that's the English translation, more or less. Again, teaching y'all that Spanish. Yeah, that'll be a big determining factor for you. Like, if having world-class medical care is really important to you, maybe you might want the States, but also here is pretty good. Or if you want police that are, more strict and will not accept bribes, of course, Latin America may not be the place for you. Or, if you want a more stable bureaucracy and you want a government that functions more efficiently, then yeah, North America might be it for you. If you like snow, if you like snowboarding and stuff like that, yeah, North America might be for you. So what I'm saying is, like, Latin America is not for everybody, but it's damn sure for me. And apparently for a lot more people that are following suit and moving down south. So guys, with that, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and what I had to say, and I hope you guys get in the comments and let me know how you feel. And may I recommend hitting that subscribe button and definitely hitting that notification bell so that you are aware whenever Kari HQ drops a new video, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Kari.HQ and Threads as well. And let's keep the conversation going, man. I hope y'all enjoy your day. I'm out.